Hello. Are you feeling lucky today? Do you ever buy lottery tickets or dream about winning a fortune? If you did, what would you do with it? If I won a large amount of money, I would probably travel the world and visit all those faraway places I've never seen. But at the moment, all of that is quite unlikely to happen. I'm busy talking to you instead. Hi there, I'm Kathy. This is my YouTube channel, ESOL Fast Forward. I teach ESOL, and this particular video is all about something that we call the second conditional. It's not that mysterious, but it's a good idea to wrap our brains around the idea behind it first. So let's look at that earlier sentence. If I won a fortune, I would travel the world. Now you can see this is a sentence made up of two separate clauses. Remember, that's a group of words with a verb. So one part tells us the condition using if to introduce an idea of something that probably won't happen. It's just an idea. The other part is the result clause. What would happen if part one came true? Can you see? The if clause uses the past simple form. The result clause uses would and a basic infinitive. So we call this construction hypothetical. It's an idea or a dream or a hope, but generally there is no reason to expect that it will happen. Another word for it is conjecture, or you might even call it daydreaming. Oh, imagine if. Here are some more examples. If I had a big house, I would throw a huge party. Woohoo! If I had time, I would read more books. Definitely. Do you realise, by the way, that we can switch these clauses around? If I had a big house, I would throw a huge party, or I would throw a huge party if I had a big house. If I had time, I would read more books, or I would read more books if I had time. Now, like zero and first conditional, this is a great tip for writing as well as speaking to demonstrate that you can vary your style. Start some sentences with if, or use it sometimes in the middle of a sentence. But also, as you will find with zero and first conditional, if you switch the if clauses around, you will notice that one part of the sentence can have a little more emphasis or importance than the other. Let's look at one example again. If I had time, I would read more books. The important part of the sentence is telling you about their time. They don't have enough. Now listen to how this sounds when it is reversed. I would read more books if I had time. Now the emphasis has changed to what they would do. Well, of course they would read more books. Good idea, by the way. One important thing to know about second conditional is using the verb to be. Because although it's still hypothetical, we're just dreaming about something that's possible, it's also used quite regularly to give advice. So here's an example. I have a problem. I have really noisy neighbours. They're playing music late at night. I'm not quite sure what to do about it. So what would a friend advise me? Oh dear, that is a nuisance. Well, if I were you, I would go and have a word with them. Now look at the answer. It's using the second conditional by putting the verb to be in the past, but with you. Now this looks a bit odd because we want to say I was, but it's a comparison between me and you. So we use were you. If I were you. It's because I'm putting myself in your position to give you advice. It's still hypothetical because I'm not you, but it's also great for giving advice. So this is what I would do if I found myself in your situation. Repeat again. If I were you, I would, and that's how you give advice to someone with it. So that's how the second conditional is formed, okay? But the important thing now is how you can use it in your English. So let's think about speaking or writing at level 1 and the kind of things you might talk about or write about. Generally, ESOL tests have very broad themes about these kind of topics. You talk about friends and family, what you do in your leisure time, your work situations, your education and training, that kind of thing. ESOL tests also really like discussing issues with the environment, especially in your local area, and they love tasks about making a contribution locally, getting involved in your local community, volunteering groups. Sometimes you have to talk about topical issues such as recycling, local facilities, problems with transport or health services. You might need to discuss your health or healthy eating or how you keep active with exercise. Sometimes you have a question about reading or what else you like to do in your free time, such as watching films or visiting places. Sometimes you talk about what you used to do in the past or where you lived or what you'd like to do in the future. Now, as you can see, these themes are very focused on leading happy, healthy, productive lives and being good citizens, because that's what the ESOL curriculum is designed for, to help people settle well and happily into the UK. So here are just a few ideas about how to put in the second conditional using these ideas. Here's an example. If I had more time, I would. Well, what would you do? Cook healthier meals, exercise more, spend more time outdoors, do another training course. There's lots of possibilities to finish the sentence here. Next one. If I went back to school, I would. Well, what would you do differently at school? Would you work harder? Would you do more homework? I hope so. Would you choose different subjects to study? If I joined a local class, I would. Well, what would you do? Would you learn something new? Would you make more friends? If I got up earlier, I would. I would what? Would you have more time for breakfast? Get to work before the traffic got worse? Get more work done? If I had the opportunity for more training at work, I would. I would what? I would develop my skills, ask about doing some different courses, try to learn about something extra. And finally, if I practice my English, I would what? See more progress, feel more confident, be able to communicate more with people. All right, you can decide. I'm going to leave you with these sentence stems. Why don't you complete them for you and see how many different ideas you can come up with? Why don't you put some in the comments below so that I can see them? And don't forget to like and subscribe. Good luck with your practice, and bye for now.